Hey everybody. This fish right here is my spotted tilapia. And I had it in my native tank. I've got a 125 gallon native tank, and it was in that tank since last autumn. I got it as a little baby, and it grew up, and eventually I decided I was going to move it over into this tank. And when I did so, I really made a really bonehead mistake. I never considered the fact that I had recently added fish from the wild to that tank. I was simply thinking of this fish itself not having any diseases. I've had this fish in this tank for months and months and months. It's grown up since a baby, and I never considered the idea that it was contaminated with any sort of illness that might, be transferred into this tank. And of course, I was not taking into consideration the fact that it was in a tank with other brand new fish, and the water in the tank could have been contaminated, etc. And I believe that is exactly what happened, that the water in the tank was contaminated with the ick in the swimmer stage, and I basically introduced it directly into this tank, and it was immediately able to take hold. I mean, my first indication that there was ick in the tank was when several of the fish were covered in ick. And this one never was. This Tenopoma here that we see making an appearance now had a lot of ick on it. In fact, it was so much that that's what made me notice it. I turned the lights on one morning and I thought he had little white bubbles all over him. And so the treatment began, and now at this point I'm having issues in my angelfish tank, and I hope I can work them out. It's a different issue. I don't think it stemmed from cross-contamination in my native tank, but I did just also have an issue in my native tank with a Columnaris outbreak. So over the last week or two, I've been having a lot of issues going on down here in the fish room. And from time to time, I like to shoot video anyway, just to sort of touch base with everybody. I pick up new viewers all the time, and I kind of lose touch with the fact that not everybody has followed along since the beginning and sort of knows what to expect from my channel and that sort of thing. So this video is going to sort of discuss me and my channel and, all of that kind of stuff with what's been going on lately. I've never really seen myself as a how-to kind of guy or an educator type kind of guy. My how-to playlist, if you will, is even called a not necessarily how-to playlist. The way I view my channel is me documenting my hobby. I'm not here trying to tell anybody this is how you should keep your fish. I'm just showing you how I keep mine. I'm not in any way a professional. I've got no formal education in keeping fish at all. I'm just fascinated by the hobby. I'm curious. I read a lot. I do a lot of research. I've only been keeping fish seriously for about 5 years, but I've kept a lot of fish in those 5 years, and I've done a lot of reading and a lot of studying, a lot of research, and so on and so forth. But I still don't feel like I'm in a position to tell people this is the end-all be-all of how you do this or how you do that. I really do feel like I'm just sort of documenting my process and my hobby. To me, it's the equivalent of the home videos or vacation videos. The fact that other people want to watch them, I think is amazing. It's fantastic. But it's still just me documenting my hobbies. So when I have issues, you're going to see those issues. When I make mistakes, you're going to see those mistakes. So in this case, I really am going through some bad stuff that's happening. It's happening because of my own, poor husbandry, lack of care. Again, just simple, stupid mistakes. I didn't think about whether or not that tank was contaminated, and I used the net and dipped it straight over into this tank, and all I did was spread ick into this tank. It had me worried for a while, but I got on top of it quickly enough, and, if you can catch ick in its early stages, then it's nothing but a nuisance, which is what it was. We cleared it up. Everybody's fine. My other tank, I've got some other issues going on that I don't know if they're necessarily my fault per se, but I think my Chinese algae eater is getting more and more aggressive with one of my angelfish, and therefore the angelfish is actually beginning to suffer some injury, and now I think it's got a fungal infection because of the injury. And this is all new. That's the first time I'm having this experience. So I'm filming it all, and, it's entirely likely that I'll make mistakes during the treatment process or whatever. I don't know. But I'm going to film it, and we're all going to get to watch it together. So just because you've seen me do it, don't necessarily think that that's the way to do it. Wait and see. Watch what I do, because you might learn, okay, that was a bad idea. I've done plenty of things over the last couple of years since I've been shooting videos that turned out to be a bad idea, and we later had to shoot a video recap about why that was a bad idea, or why I shouldn't do that again, or whatever. So, I'm treating my sick fish in my angelfish tank the best way I know how, but I've never done it before. This is all my first experience going through all this. And, as I keep saying, to me, this is simply me documenting my experiences. It's not me telling anybody else how they should do it or anything else. So, as long as you watch my videos with the understanding that I'm not a professional, I've never been, formally schooled in any kind of, fish care or chemistry or water chemistry or any of that kind of stuff. And just keep in mind that I'm just bringing you along for my journey, and hopefully we can all learn from the experiences together. And, if I'm willing to do stuff and make mistakes, I certainly learn from my mistakes, and it would be nice to think that more than just one person can learn a lesson from a mistake that's made. And hopefully as time goes on, I'll make less mistakes, and those mistakes will be less costly, and so on and so forth. In my early days, I made bad mistakes and lost lots of fish, and, I think I'm kind of over those little early growing pain kind of humps. But you never know. There's tons in this hobby that I have yet to experience, and we'll see how I deal with them when we get there. So as long as you're willing to come along for the ride and, see me grow and develop as a fish keeper myself, and watch my tanks, change and develop over time. And, I know several of my viewers out there have seen quite a lot of changes over time to all my tanks here in the fish room. You got to keep up. There's a lot that goes on in here, and a lot of stuff changes. It moves fast. So really, that's about it. It's just, getting late in the evening. I was kind of down here getting ready to turn all the lights out for the evening, so I thought I would just have a little chat about what was on my mind, and that was it. So thanks for watching this one. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you're subscribed if you would like to see any more. This is my 125-gallon tank. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you real soon in the next one.